Well, it's week 32, day 3. And we're going to go back into one of the major prophets. And again, we remember major and minor prophets, all it has to do is the length of the letter that they left behind or the book that they left behind. Well, the next of the major prophets is the prophet Jeremiah. It's a well known name. And what we're going to see is that throughout his ministry, he often stands alone against almost every leader in the land. A lot of them actually go to other prophets, false prophets, who give them a song and dance about, oh, we're fine, God loves us, everything's just fine and dandy. Whereas Jeremiah is the only one who tells the honest truth about the devastation that's going to be brought about because of the people's failure to live up to the covenant. The key problem here that we see in Jeremiah chapters 1 through 4 today is that the people of God, and I do use air quotes around that idea, the people of God, have abandoned God, have abandoned their Lord. Jeremiah then goes on to remind them that God's covenant, going all the way back to their ancestor Abraham, included both blessings, those including progeny that were more numerous than the stars or the sand at the sea, the land in which they've resided for so many centuries, and also that they would be a blessing to the other nations of the earth. But these covenant promises also came with curses on those who would abandon the covenant. And unfortunately, that's indeed what Israel has done, what Judah has done. And so, can you imagine, in the midst of these incredibly sorrowful times, why Jeremiah was known as the weeping prophet? Sometimes I look around and I look at our world today and I find plenty of reasons to weep even today. As we look at the things that we have done in this world and the ways that we have abandoned God, do we need to reconsider the covenant promises that we have with God? We know that God has given us his greatest gift, his Son, but he also calls us to be faithful. And how faithful are we being? Should we rededicate ourselves to living faithful lives in the covenant that Christ has purchased on our behalf?